Hello and welcome back to our channel. My name is Francisco and I work for Virtual CNS. And we're going to be talking about here in this video a little bit about what is a server and also if you are a business owner, should you use a cloud server? Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about in this particular video. If you are a business owner, most likely you're looking into options as to what to get, what kind of infrastructure you should get in order to be able to start your operations. Okay, so let's say, for example, you are actually have an office, you have a couple of employees, and you are having pretty much any business in any type of industry. And the idea is for you to typically have some applications that are going to help you to be organized and be able to run your business efficiently. So you can look into Office 365. It's one of the products that we actually support, which is going to allow you to really be able to organize your processes and be able to efficiently manage your team. Okay. Now, as with any other network, you typically have to have a server, most likely. A server is really a computer, a more advanced computer that is going to allow you to host databases, applications, and different programs that are going to be able to, or that are really needed for your business. Okay. So to put a perspective, let's say, for example, typical office will need to have maybe an accounting software, let's say, for example, QuickBooks, which is very popular in the US. And maybe you want to use Office 365 to check emails and maybe create some documents. And also, let's assume that you do have a third-party application that is really specific to your industry. Okay, so those are the basic examples for a small and medium-sized business. So in reality, for that type of situation, you're definitely going to need a server. The server is going to have the application, it's going to host the application, it's going to host a database where you're going to put all the content in a very organized fashion. And then you're going to have some computers, in this case, your employees, which are going to most likely able to input information on this, be able to enter, I don't know exactly, a client information. Then you're going to be able to enter invoices. Maybe you're going to be able to do some particular operation processes and so forth. So in this image that you're seeing right now, we show you this. You have a couple of workstations around your office. You have a printer, most likely, typically, and then you have a server. Okay, this server is your main database. Okay, so now the question obviously in these days is, okay, am I going to have a local server or can I use a cloud server? Okay, and we're going to talk about this. So for example, let's say that you decide that you want to start using a local server. What are typically the options there? What are the advantage or disadvantage of using that? Okay. So the advantage is that, yeah, you spend X amount of money on a server, and then you have an application that you're going to be using for your workstations to work locally. What locally means is that you're going to go, you need to have your employees go into the office and then be able for them to access the data, okay? If you don't have the employees at the office, you're going to have to implement options and different ways for them to connect remotely, okay? Now, this is where the cloud server comes in. Most of the business these days are moving to the cloud. What exactly this means is that you're going to have a server in the cloud and not in the office, and that you're going to be able to access pretty much from your computer at any given time. The advantage of this against the local server is that even if you have the office closed over the weekend, or maybe if you are in South Florida like we are, maybe a hurricane season, maybe you have a hurricane going on, you cannot physically go to the office and then you're not going to be able to really work. So in that case, you do need to have a cloud server that you're going to be able to connect to this location at any given time from anywhere in the world, okay? And that's the main advantage of having the server in the cloud. The other advantage is, for example, there is no electricity at all in your local office, depending on your situation and property management. If you don't have electricity, you don't have no business, okay? That's one of the reasons that a lot of people are choosing a cloud server over a local server as well, because you do have to spend a lot of money on infrastructure, APCs, UPS, then you have maybe a backup generator, and maybe you have this and that, and then at the end of the day, it gets more expensive for you to manage the server. So at the end of the day, we end up actually buying a cloud server, okay? In this case, it's gonna show you how to connect to this particular server. If you have, for example, say for example, you go with the cloud option, which is actually most of the typical option these days. You open up what we call RDP. Okay, we're gonna do an MSTSC, and you have the remote desktop connection. Okay, in that case, we simply click connect, and then we enter the credentials. We recommend two dual-factor authentication for this process. We're not gonna go into the security conversation about this, but it's really important for you to have the dual-factor authentication available. If you don't have this option, in this case, most likely you're gonna be able to have you are vulnerable. Let's put it this way, to the alternative of attacks. Okay, so you really have to avoid the possibility, if you don't have the dual-factor authentication, for you to manage your server. Okay, I'm trying to log on here. For some reason, it's not working. Let's give it a try. I'm gonna try. This is a test server, actually hosted in Amazon. We don't use it too often. Typically, I use it for demos. I'm gonna try to see if I can connect to this particular server. And let's see if I can. Okay, so for some reason I can. So I guess in the next video that I'm gonna be making, I'm gonna reset the password, and then I'm gonna be able to connect, and then I'm gonna show you exactly how this works. The main idea that I wanted to show you is that you can connect pretty much from anywhere in the world using the remote desktop connection, and then be able to access your server and then be able to work. And for example, you can connect to your application, to say for example, QuickBooks, you're using QuickBooks, you connect, and then you're able to even print pretty much anything to your local computer and be able to work. So for example, you're working remotely, you're working from home, which today is actually very popular, and it works, okay? And then also if you go, for example, to another country or maybe another office in a different state, and then as soon as you're able to use the remote desktop connection that you see on the screen, you're gonna be able to operate just fine by just doing a connection and then be able to really manage your database, okay? The advantage of this is that, for example, Amazon, we actually are actually providers from Amazon as well, and then we're able to reconfigure the server for you and deploy a server, and then be able to manage a server, which is hosted in Amazon. Amazon, for example, they do have options available for you to be able to manage these servers. And the good news is that, again, it's available 100% of the time. You don't have to really do much with the server itself just by installing the application and configure it. Obviously, we as an IT department, we do manage the server and provide the updates and all the security features in it. But then you as a user, the only thing that you have to do is you're able to connect and work, okay? And even if your computer, for example, gets damaged, you lost your computer, or maybe something happens with the machine, you get another machine, you don't have to install an application. You're using your Windows machine, OpenRDP, which is typically installed by default in the Windows 10 computers, and then you're able to connect, and that's it. In no time, you are able to be up and running right away. So that's the main idea of using a cloud server, okay? In the next video, I'm gonna show you how it works. I'm gonna go back to reset the password, and then I'm gonna be able to connect and show you guys how you are able to utilize the application properly, okay? So thanks for watching this video. We're gonna have a second version of this video, and then we're gonna talk about this. And if you have any questions, you can send us an email to info@virtualcns.com, and we'll be happy to help you, okay? Thanks again for watching the video.